usually don't do a TikTok in a grocery store, but it's after church and everybody's shopping. So I said, well, I'll make some, ground meat and pasta later today. Do you see that? $27.76 for 3 pounds of ground meat. Oh my God. Looks like we're going to have to start eating a lot more carbs. Or maybe going vegan. I mean, thank God it's just me and my husband. But wow. These are like $30 a pack. Unbelievable.
Gotta be effing kidding me. This is what I used to pay for my medium-sized coffee. This is the small can now. This is my... Are you serious?
Honestly, I feel her pain right in my wallet. Seeing ground beef hit nearly $30 a pack gives me absolute sticker shock. It feels like we're all rethinking our dinner plans or forced to clip coupons just to survive the checkout line. And don't get me started on coffee prices. It's getting to the point where a simple home-cooked meal feels like a luxury we can barely afford anymore. Stick around because you won't believe what happens next.
If my household is struggling to budget for groceries and then stay within that budget, and I'm telling you that I didn't go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of lobster tails and name brand foods and throw them in the cart. No, I very specifically said in that video that I had my bean burrito budget ready to go. I went to the grocery store expecting to only buy the most basic food I needed to get by for a week. And I still blew my grocery budget out. Like, I spent almost like twice as much as I expected to spend on groceries. Like, groceries are unsustainably priced. If I am struggling to buy groceries with 2 full-time adult incomes at my disposal, and I'm struggling with the rising cost of food and being able to balance my budget, being able to save the money that I need to save for emergencies, for retirement, for my health, right? Save the money that I need to save and also live today, that they're not like, those things are not compatible. They're not sustainable. And if I'm struggling, what is a senior on fixed income doing? What is a young person that's working a low wage job? What is a disabled person? What's a single parent doing? If 2 adult incomes are causing me to struggle and your advice is that I should go to a food pantry with 2 full adult incomes at my disposal, what about everybody else? Everybody else is still buying beef at $7 a pound when it's on sale. The like non-sale price for ground beef right now is in some places $11.99 a pound. I live in America. I have a grocery store. Just where I live right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grocery stores in a mile radius of my home. I should be able to work, earn money, set a budget, go to the grocery store, and buy food in my budget and not feel like I'm going to scream at the end of it.
The price of things is just... This is disgusting, actually. It's like out of control. I'm sorry. Why is this $4? And that's the sale. $4. Are you joking? I saw a bag of rice for $10. Everybody knows rice is like, that's your cheap food. $10, and the bag was probably like yay big. It's not a giant bag.
I'm about to shit a literal brick right now. I'm at Food Lion. These prices are f***ing insane. Boneless beef chuck steak, $82.99. $0.83, $99.99 a pound.
this. Look at this. This is crazy. That's f***ing insane. Hey, I got a question. Is this for real? Like, me and my husband are arguing over it to see if that's a legit price or is it messed up? I know they went up on meat like hardcore, but I was like, is that real?
I mean, I'm not
right.
It seems a little high to me.
That does. Well, see, there's like 3 or 4 of them over there that are all $80-something.
I guess it must be. I mean, I don't work in.
I know prices is high, but damn.
Well, we have officially reached the I can't afford cream cheese stage of capitalism.
$879.53 that I paid in energy usage in August for my Airbnb. That's like 1 2-night stay. Look at this. What? All right, I need to get a grip on this.
I just want to say that it's wild that as a 2-income household, my husband and I have come to the realization we can't afford groceries right now. Like, just straight up can't afford groceries, because if we buy groceries, then we either won't be able to pay our rent or our electric bill, because both of those come out of this pay cycle and they will take the entire pay cycle. That's bonkers. That's so wild. We have 2 incomes and we cannot afford to eat, and we don't even have kids. Like, it's literally just the 2 of us and we can't afford to eat with 2 incomes. That is just, but I mean, I guess, you know, that means we won't have to wash dishes because our dishwasher is still broken, as it has been for 2 months at the place that we pay so much in rent, you know. Wild.
Hearing these stories hits way too close to home, and quite frankly, it is terrifying. It feels like the American dream has turned into a survival game where 2 full-time paychecks can barely keep the lights on. We aren't even talking about luxuries here. When working professionals are priced out of basic groceries like rice and ground beef, you know the system is completely broken. It's exhausting just trying to keep up. Don't go anywhere, because the next part is even more eye-opening.
So I'm at Walmart, and you know, I've never really cared too much about some of the prices of stuff going up, but this one right here, this one pisses me off. My favorite ramen noodles. Bro, I used to get this shit for 10 cents.
So I went to the grocery store today, and to understand my dynamic, I have a 50-50 custody, and we do week to week. So I have 2 teenage boys, or one soon to be a teenager, and I spent food only. I didn't buy any non-food items, and we eat fresh food. I don't buy a lot of box stuff, processed foods, a lot of fruit and yogurt and eggs, milk, healthy stuff. $350. $350. I don't even know if it'll last me the week. And I was just talking with my ex-wife, and I was like, what do you spend? Because I think I'm doing it wrong. And she told me, and it's about the same. So if we were still together, we would be spending $1,700 a month just in food. This doesn't include all the other household items I typically buy elsewhere. That's crazy.
So it really hit me today while getting groceries how expensive things are getting. I got 3 bags of groceries and it was $105. I got a pack of ribeyes, the value pack, that was $30. That was kind of the most expensive thing out of the bunch. A package of cookies, 2 loaves of sourdough, some Parmesan cheese, 2 things of the cheapest pasta I could find, and then some Boursin cheese and cherry tomatoes. And it was $105. I don't know how people are surviving. I don't know why it just hit me today. I live by myself, so, you know, maybe it just doesn't really hit me as often as people with families, but I really feel for you. I don't know how people are getting by other than just going into credit card debt and debt in general. And it's not just the grocery prices that are up right now. It's the overall cost of living. I mean, house prices, rent, vehicle prices, you name it. So if you have a little bit extra to give to others right now, now would be the time to do it, coming into these holiday seasons, you know, Christmas and the New Year's. Just if you know somebody, a single mom, whoever, just trying to make it, maybe get their groceries for a week, because this just really put it in perspective for me. I mean, I got 3 bags of groceries, and like I said, I live alone, so overall the things right now don't affect me as much as someone that has a family. So if you have a little bit of extra, now is the time to do it.
What uses more power? All of the EVs in the United States or all of the data centers in the United States? I ask because we were told for years that the grid in the United States couldn't handle EVs. So right now in the United States, data centers consume 126 terawatt hours of electricity a year, which is roughly 17 or 18 times more power than EVs. As a matter of fact, data centers in the United States use about the same amount of power as all of the EVs on the entire planet. So I want you to think about this, because we know the rise in our electricity bills is directly tied to data centers and new data centers. By 2030, we expect the amount of power that data centers consume just in the United States will nearly triple. And to put that in perspective, by 2030, data centers in the United States will use more power than the power that is consumed by 120 countries around the world, including Saudi Arabia, Australia, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Indonesia. Just our data centers will use more power than those entire countries. Now consider this, to meet all of that electricity demand, we need to add about 7,500 miles of high voltage transmission lines in the United States per year between now and 2030. In 2024, we added 350. In 2023, we added like 310. This year will probably be in the threes again. Yes. All of that means is that our grid cannot support the data centers we are building. But they're going to build it anyway. Yeah. The only question is, how much is it going to cost you on your electric bill? Especially by 2030.
Okay, for anyone in Utah County, I gotta know. How was your electric bill this last month? Ours was $900. I compared it to last year's electric bill at this time. We used more electricity this time last summer, but our electricity bill was way less. Make it make sense. I am genuinely wondering how people are doing it and surviving. Truly. And we've actually been so conservative this summer, like we are not using our AC nearly as much as we used to. We use energy-saving appliances, our lights are LED. What the heck?
So, I just finished going through all these reports and personal stories, and honestly, I feel like I need to sit down and take a deep breath, because this is heavy. It is genuinely validating to hear that I am not the only one feeling like I'm losing my mind every time I walk into a grocery store. We keep hearing on the news that inflation is cooling down and that the numbers look better on paper. But listening to these real people share their struggles makes it crystal clear that the economic reality in our homes is a completely different story. It feels like we are being gaslit. When nearly 7 out of 10 Americans are saying their grocery costs have gone up, and you have 2-income households that literally cannot afford to eat, something is fundamentally broken. I was listening to that couple who realized they have to choose between buying groceries or paying their rent and electric bill, and it just broke my heart. These aren't people who are blowing their money on luxury vacations. They are working adults with 2 incomes, no kids, and they still can't make the math work. It is terrifying to think that you can do everything right, go to work every day, and still be in a position where a broken dishwasher stays broken for months because there is simply no money to fix it. And then you go to the store and see a chuck steak for $83? I mean, seriously, $83 for a piece of meat? That sounds like a bad joke, but it is real life right now. It really hit me when someone mentioned we have reached the I can't afford cream cheese stage of capitalism. That is funny in a dark way, but it is also so sad. When you have a guy at Walmart looking at ramen noodles, the ultimate survival food that used to cost pennies, and seeing them priced at $4, you know we are in trouble. People are standing in the aisles arguing with their spouses about whether a price tag is a mistake because our brains just cannot process how expensive things have become so quickly. I can totally relate to that feeling of panic when you check out. You look at your cart and you have maybe 3 bags of the absolute basics, nothing fancy, just some pasta and bread, and suddenly you've spent $50 or more. And it is not just the food. The utility bills are absolutely out of control. Hearing about families in Utah getting hit with $900 electric bills in a single month makes my stomach churn. It is infuriating to learn that part of the reason our rates are spiking is because of these massive data centers eating up all the power. It feels like we are the ones paying the price for big tech's expansion while we sit in our houses sweating because we are afraid to touch the thermostat. We are cutting back, using energy-saving appliances, and doing everything we are supposed to do, yet the bills keep climbing higher. It makes you wonder how sustainable this really is. The scariest part for me is thinking about the future. If families earning decent money are struggling to buy ground beef and paying nearly $30 for it, what happens to the seniors on fixed incomes? What happens to the single moms working minimum wage? I saw that comment about how we shouldn't just bury our heads in the sand, and I think that is the most important takeaway here. We have to look at where this is going. If prices keep rising for the next 6 months or a year and our paychecks stay the same, we are going to see a lot of people falling off the edge. It is stressful to think about, but we really do need to start positioning ourselves for a tougher road ahead, whether that means finding a side hustle, moving somewhere cheaper, or just helping each other out whenever we have a little extra to give. It is a scary time, and knowing that so many of us are in the same boat is both comforting and terrifying at the same time. Don't leave your screen. There is plenty more to uncover as we dig deeper into this.